Good morning, students. In our today's class, we'll discuss with you the poem Rain on the Roof, written by Court Skinny. As the title suggests that the poem is about the rain, here the poet wants to tell us some sort of memories of his life which are associated with the rain, perhaps the sweet memories of his past. Now let us read the poem and find out what was all about his memories. Now we read the first stanza. When the humid shower shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in the rainy tears. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Now, students, in this stanza, what the poet wants to say, he's saying when the humid shadows hover. Here, humid shadows refers to the dark clouds. Humid means because they are moist, they are wet. So here, it refers to the dark clouds which are about to bring rain. And hovers means they move around. They move around. You mean say they move around these stars in the sky. And what they are doing, they conceals these stars because they covered the stars totally. Starry spheres means the stars in the sky. So what he is saying, that the dark clouds which are about to bring rain have covered the stars which are in the sky, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. Now here he is comparing the raindrops to tears. He is saying the dark sky. Here he is saying the dark sky wipes its tears in the form of rain. So the rain is the tears of the dark sky. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed. Now, here the poet is saying that he is very happy when bliss, it here means happiness. So here the poet is saying he is very happy when he is lying in the bed of his bedroom and was listening the sound of raindrops falling on the roof of his room. So when my head rests on the pillow, it brings happiness. Press the pillow means when my head rests on the pillow, it brings happiness to me because I can imagine the sweet memories which are related to the past. Of a cottage chamber bed, it means he was lying in the bed of his bedroom and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. Here he is, while lying in his bed, he was listening the sound of raindrops falling on the roof of his room. Now the second stanza. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and thousands dreamy fancies into busy being start, and thousands recollections weave their air threads into woof as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. Now here, what does the poet wants to say? Here in this stanza, the poet is saying, every tinkle on the shingles. Tinkle means short light ringing sound of the rain. Shingles is a kind of a rectangle wooden tiles which are used for making roof. Mostly in southern India, you can see these type of houses which are having this type of roof. Where there are small rectangular wooden tiles which are used for making roofs. So has an echo means they are making repeated sounds, है ना? And dreaming fancies means many fanciful imaginations in his dream which he has. Weave air threads into woof. Here it means the thread which is woven across the loom. Thousands recollection here refers for the memories of the past. Now what he is saying, that every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart. It means every falling raindrop, this short light of ringing sound is having echo in my heart. Echo in my heart. Here echo is he has been repeating. He referring echo to the past memories of his life. And a thousands dreamy fancies into busy being start. It means when the rain starts falling, it takes me to the back. It takes me to the remote past of my life and helps me in bringing those fanciful dreams. It means he wants to recollect his memories. He wants to travel into those fanciful imaginations which he had in his previous life. weave their threads into woof as I listen the patter of the rain upon the roof. It means he was saying that it woven number of threads across the looms which help me. It means number of memories. Number of threads here means number of memories he is having. Thousands recollections means memories of the past. Here he is talking about the memories of his past, mostly or probably connected to the dreams of his mother. He might be recollecting his mother in his thoughts. So he was saying, he was trying to say that the falling of the rain drop take me to the my life when I was a child, and it associate and they are associated with the memories which are related to his mother, which is no more now. Now stanza 3. Now in memory comes my mother as she used in years agone. Here agone means era, gone by. It means the time which was past. To regard the darling dreamers ere she left them till the dawn. Now era means old poetic word which is used for before, and dawn means the daybreak, the time of sunrise. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I listen to this refrain, which is placed upon the singles by the patter of the rain. Now, in it, as you can see that in this particular stanza, what the poet is trying to say, he is saying that every drop of rain falling on the roof makes a tinkle sound. As he said, that makes the tinkle sound that moves my heart. It takes me to the memories of my mother. The sound gives rise to number of imagination. This pitter patter of raindrops, as we know, the sound of falling of raindrops is called pitter patter. So he's saying this pitter patter of rain revives his childhood memories, and he recollects how his mother used to look at him and put him to sleep and wished for him to have sweet dreams for the whole night. Now here what he is saying, for the whole night, and he's saying that as always the mothers wish that the child should have the sound sleep, they should have a nice dreams. So as his mother also, she wished for him to have sweet dreams for whole night, and they till they met again in the morning. So he visualized in his mind the affectionate look of his mother. Thus we can say that the rain becomes a bridge between the past of the poet and his present. Now this was the whole poem all about. Now if we talk about the rhyming scheme of the poem, you can see from the stanza 1, as we all know that for finding out the rhyming scheme of the word, we for the poem we take the last word, we consider the last word of each line. So if you consider the first stanza, you will find out the same rhyming scheme is there in all the 3 stanzas. You can find out the rest too. I'll just explain the first one. When the humid shadows hover. Now the last word of this line is hover, and the second line, the last word is fares. Darkness, tears, pillow, bed, petter, and overhead. Now these are the last word of each line. Now first word is hover. We'll name it as A. Now let's find out if there any word which rhymes with hover. Now I think there is no any other word in this particular stanza which rhymes with hover. Now let's come to the second word, fares. Now let's find out if any word which is fares with, yes, it is tears. Now tears and spheres, they both rhymes. Though the first one is A, the second one is B, and the fourth line's last word is again B. Now come to the third one, that is darkness. Now does it rhymes with any other word in the stanza? No, it does not rhymes with any other word. So it will be C. Now let's move to the pillow. Now we have been left with 4 words: pillow, bed, petter, and overhead. Now if you find pillow rhymes with any other words of this stanza, no, it does not rhymes with any other word. So we'll mark it as D. Now next is bed. Does it rhymes with any other word? Yes, it rhymes with overhead. So we'll mark it as E. Now the bed and overhead will be given same name, that is E. And this is patter, it will be as F. So the rhyming scheme of this particular stanza is A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. And this will be same in this next stanza also. Shingles, heart, fancy, start, recollections, woof, patter and roof. Now first we'll mark it as A, and we'll try to find out if shingles also rhymes with any other word. So it is not. Can you see any word which rhymes with singles? No. So we'll name it as A. The second one is heart. It rhymes with the fourth line's last word start. So we'll name it as B. Now next is fancies. It does not rhymes with any other word of this particular stanza. So we'll mark it as C. Now the fourth word is start. So this word also does not rhymes with any other word. So we'll mark it as B. Now next is recollections. Now does recollections rhymes with any other word? No, it does not rhymes with any other word, so we'll mark it as D. Now next is woof. Yes, woof rhymes with roof, so we'll give them same name, that is E. And the left one is petter, we'll again give it F. So the rhyming scheme of this stanza is AB, CB, DE, FE. So same will be there in the third stanza also. Mother, agon, dreamers, dawn, me, refrain, shingles, rain. Now mother does not rhymes with any other word in this particular stanza, and it will be named as A. Now move to the next one. Agon, does it rhymes with any other word? Yes, it rhymes with dawn, so we'll mark both these as B. Now the next is dreamers. I think it does not rhymes with any other word, so we'll mark it C. And dawn, it rhymes with any other word? Does it rhymes with any other word? Dawn. Yes, it rhymes with agon, and we have already marked it as B. Now next is me. So if me rhymes with any other word, no, me does not rhymes with any other word, so we'll have marked it as D. Now next is refrain. Refrain rhymes with rain, so this will be E. We'll give them same name again, it will be E. And shingles does not rhymes with any other word of this particular stanza, so it will be named as F. So the rhyming scheme of this stanza is also AB, CB, DE and FE. Students, you will be asked for the rhyming scheme of the given lines. If you've been given any extract, you will be asked like write the rhyming scheme of these particular lines. You will not be asked to write the rhyming scheme of the whole poem. It can be a separate question, but it cannot be from an extract. From an extract, you will be asked to write the rhyming scheme of the given lines only. Now, as far as poetic devices is concerned, so let us discuss the poetic devices used in the poem. The first poetic device we can see is alliteration. Now you can see alliteration, as you all know that alliteration is repetition of the same letter sound in adjoining words or in the words of the same line. You can see in the very first line, the word H sound has been repeated in the word humid and hoover. And in the second line, starry and sphere, S sound has been repeated. So these are example of alliteration. Now let's move to the next line. If there any word repeats, it is in the fifth line, press and pillow. P has been repeated again and again. And in the next line, cottage chamber, C has been repeated. So this is the example of alliteration. And in the next line, lie listening, again L sound has been repeated. So this is what? This is the example of alliteration, when the same letter sound has been repeated in the beginning of any word, adjoining word, or in the words of the same line, we call it alliteration. So I have given you examples of alliteration. So there are examples of consonants also. You have to see where are the examples of consonants. Consonants are the repetition of consonant sounds. So if you find consonant sound words, no, there are not consonant sounds. Oh, next is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a use of sound words. So you can see in the stanza 1, we can find an example of onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, I have told you, that is the sound words, use of sound words. So here you can see the word patter is there. Patter, which is used for the sound created by the falling of raindrops. So this is an example of onomatopoeia. And in second stanza, if there is any, yes, again tinkle. I have told you that tinkle is a sound which is short, light ringing sound of the rainfall. So this is also an example of onomatopoeia. And the same one is repeated in the third stanza again, that is patter. right? Now the next is personification. If you want to say where the personification has been used in this poem, you will find that the personification has been used in the, let us see where it has been used. If there is personification used in this poem, melancholy, darkness. Yes, the melancholy, darkness. Here darkness has been personified. Here the poet is trying to say that darkness is weeping, it is crying. So darkness has been personified. The rain has been compared to the rain. So the darkness has been personified. So this is personification. Thousands recollections. Thousands recollection weave their airy head. Now thousands recollections weave their airy head. Here the recollections are also personified, because recollections cannot weave their airy thread. It is we people who make we weave the threads, right? Now the next is poetic device used in this poem is imagery. It is use of different words to evoke pictures and a feeling in reader's mind. When you read any poem and you try to imagine something which was written in the poem, it is, this tool is called imagery. So you can see in this poem we try to imagine the falling of raindrops, we also imagine dark clouds, and there are a number of things which we are imagining. So this is the poetic device used is imagery. Now next poetic device used here is repetition. Repetition means the repetition of same word or the repetition of same phrases. So you can see what has been repeated here. There is repetition of, you can see, by the patter of the rain. The patter of the rain, this has been repeated. I listen to the patter. So the word patter has been repeated 2 times. So this is the repetition, right? Now if you talk about one more poetic device which has been used here, it is transferred epithet. Transferred epithet has also been used in this poem. What is transferred epithet, students? Transferred epithet has been used in the stanza 1. You can see it is written melancholy, darkness. So melancholy, darkness, dreamy fancies. So these are the examples of transferred epithet. A transferred epithet is an adjective that grammatically qualifies a noun or other than a person or a thing. It is actually a describing word. So you can see in this stanza, here the poet transfers his sad mood, his sadness, to the melancholy darkness of the night. So here he transferred his sadness from himself to the darkness of the night, which is in the poem. So you can see this is a transferred epithet where one's feeling is transferred to somebody else. He wants to convey what he is feeling through the message from the other things which are mentioned in the poem. Now he transferred his sadness to the sadness of the sky. So this is an example of transferred epithet. Now these are the only poetic devices used in this poem. I hope you have been able to understand what I have explained you, and you will be able to answer the questions which were asked based on the poem. Thank you.